Uh-huh. Just a little bit. There you go. Right. Better. You get the hang of it. And all day today when you're doing it, just let the guy know you're fixing to get off and just keep practicing. Get off's important, dude. I watched the kid. He could ride, but he just started and he picked it up really fast and he started riding bulls. Like he was 85 points on a bull 2 weeks after my bull riding school. He got his first bull at my school. Talented little kid. His name is Jason Lucian. But then he just likes to party and stuff, and you don't get bulls no more. He was really talented. He never could figure out the get off, and I seen him one day ride a bull, I bet, for 15 seconds, trying to figure out when to get off and how to get off. You know, worst case, lean out and you hit the ground, but
yeah,
that's how you get off one on your feet. You see them guys step off. If you do it right, they'll throw you out there on your feet. I landed on my head. I figured if I had to worry about a get off, then I was riding all my bulls, and that's a good thing, you know.
yeah.
But it looks really cool to step off on your feet. I've seen people do it. No, I got lucky every now and then. People practice getting off. I just practice getting up. As long as I could get up fast, I was good. Alright, I'm getting ready to get out. That was better, you just got hung there.
Yeah.
You're getting it figured out there. When a bull's moving away from you, it makes it easier too.
My hand got stuck in the rope.
Hey Josh!
Get my glove on, it's starting to hurt.
Ride it, get up here and bucket by yourself. I'm gonna get Josh over here.
Alright. You want me to pause the camera?
No, you can record it.
Okay. You step up on it, you step out,
in line with that pole, it won't move.
Yeah, keep it pull it that high.
You're taller one day. Alright, he said I was right. With a Brazilian rope, you can go either side.
Okay.
But, man, I would only use that side if you had to get off that side. If a bull's turning back to the left, you don't want to step off in the hole, you know. You can, but that'll be later. You learn it on your own. There's time in there, but you can step off and walk right out of the wet hole if you're in time. If not, he'll smoke you. So what we're gonna do is you always get away from into your hand. Always get off into your hand. But with a Brazilian, you know, if you have to get off that side, you can get off that side. But get in the habit of coming this way. If you ever switch to American for some reason, you don't want to go that way on the American rope. And we'll do hang-ups next, and this is why you don't. A lot of people, they think your rope has something to do with it. If you got a good rope, so it doesn't. If you got a crap rope, it has a bad block, and it just rolls around, it's like a piece of rope. You're gonna get hung up to that, a little more maybe. Put your hand in there. Pull it tight. Alright. What hangs you up on a bull is when you go frontwards away from your hand on American rope. Like I said, I've never
Or if you get bucked off away.
Or bucked off away. For any reason, if you get bucked off away from your hand, or if you come off a bull away from your hand and you go forward, just take a wrap. You hang up for the butterfly. It's not the wrap, so if you want to split it off, split it off. That has nothing to do with you hanging up. What happens when you hang up, get up on your rope. Your feet, when you come off this direction and your feet come up behind you, right, I got you, I got the bell. Let your feet come on up and away from your hand. See how, now open your hand. You can't because your body weight is pulling down on that rope. So it's holding your hand in and you can't open your hand.
Yeah.
That's how you hang up to a bull. You can hang up with a butterfly wrap. It's less likely, of course, but that's a hang up. Most people don't understand what happens to a hang up. And in order for this to happen, you got to be in front of your bull rope. So if you come off frontwards in any way and away, you're hung up. You know you're hung. Okay. To fix it, okay, in order to hang up, you got to be in front of your rope. What do you got to do with this part of your arm to get it unhung?
Get it back and roll it normal.
You got to get it back behind your rope. So you're going to take your elbow and you're going to stick it right to his spine. Shove it up there. And your hand will come right out. Okay? So, when you're hung up, first thing that happens when you get hung, stand over here. When you get hung, first thing, and usually after a while you're gonna know, shit, I'm hung. You know it's coming before you get there. But you come forward and you know you're gonna be hung, he flings you off and you do this, you know. Well, you know, dang, I'm hung up. First thing you're gonna do is not go for your bull rope. If you're gonna do anything with your rope, hold it up in the air so the bullfighter to get it. You know, a Brazilian rope actually probably would work. I mean, I'll get Josh over here. You need to talk to somebody that rides with a Brazilian. Because if I pull, it's pulling this out of my hand. American rope would be this way. And if I pull, you see how it ain't doing no good for a guy in an American rope to pull it. You're better off leaving it alone. And I'm going to tell you to do that anyways. Even in a Brazilian, don't pull your rope. Protect yourself. When you come off, you're going to protect yourself and let the bullfighter do his job, okay? So when I come off and I'm hung up, first thing I'm going to do is get on my feet. Number one rule, no matter what, get up. If he steps on your leg and breaks your leg, get up. Because no matter how bad it is right then, it can get worse. It can get a lot worse, okay? So when you come off, first thing you're going to do is get on your feet and protect yourself. Grab the bull, touch the bull on his shoulder and get stable. If this bull's just blowing up in the air, dude, I can stand right here with him all day and just jump up in there with him. As long as I'm on my feet. If I lose my feet and I'm like this, he's stepping on my legs, my body, my chaps. You know, and that's people die under there.
Yeah.
People don't die. People get stitches when they get hit in the face or hooked or broken arm. People die when the feet get them. When you get stepped on, that's a lot of weight in one little area coming from up in the air, and it kills people. Okay? So when you get hung up, when you go down, he swings you out here, you're going to get up and you're going to protect yourself. And first things first is protect yourself. Get set to where you can stand there a little bit. And stay on your feet. He'll yank you off the ground, you land on your feet. He'll yank you off the ground, you're going to land on your feet. You're going to stay on your feet. And if he comes into you, you're going to grab him. You don't want to not grab him, and he's going to hit you with his head every time he comes around. Wow! Wow! So when you get hung up, you're going to get set. You're going to protect yourself. First thing off, get on your feet. Secondly, protect yourself. And that means if he comes into you, you're grabbing his neck, okay? And you're not going to let go. You're going to try to get him in a headlock, and he's going to spin you around like a donut, just round and around and around. But you don't want to give him no slack because he's going to hit you with them horns every time he comes with his head. So if he comes into me, I'm grabbing his neck, okay? If he goes away from me, I'm just going to keep going with him, okay? If he goes away from me, there's a chance he swings me. If they got enough G's, and you're hung to them, and they're going away from my hand, they'll pick your feet off the ground. And you go, whoa, shoot. You're still protecting yourself. And when he gets when you get your feet to the ground, you get on your feet, okay? One of the worst wrecks I ever seen in a hang-up, a guy got swung, and he wasn't doing a good job of staying on his feet anyways, and he was swinging. Well, his feet were kind of dragging at the end, and the bull switched directions, and he come out, bam, just caved his face in. And that's probably one of the worst hits to the face. I tore my ACL, my PCL, and my MCL, my right knee in college. I got hung up to a bull. And I'm good about staying on my feet. Hell, when I was a kid, I hung to everything. So I learned how to get on my feet pretty good, but there's things that just happen riding bulls, you know. And he flung me out, and he stepped on my boot, my foot. Also, when I was trying to get up, he stepped on my foot and like kept me low, and then he stepped right here on the back of my calf. When I wasn't all the way down, but I wasn't all the way up either. And I couldn't go no further down, and my knee didn't reach the ground, so I just tore all my ligaments in my knee. That hurt pretty good. So do your best to get on your feet. If he's wearing you out, you don't quit fighting. It's a fist fight, okay? If he gets you off your feet and he's popping your butt, no matter what, he breaks your nose, blacks your eyes, broke your leg, get up, because it'll get worse. Get up on your feet. While you're protecting yourself, the bullfighter is going for your rope. All right? So you don't even want to look at this thing, because this makes no difference to you. To get free from a bull, when you go like this, when you get a shot at him and you first get control where you're stable, the next thing you stick your elbow down his backbone like this. Okay? So I'm hung up, I'm like this, and I'm trying to protect myself. And whenever I get a good chance, whenever I'm not swinging or underneath him, I'm going to make a move with my elbow straight to his backbone, and my hands will go right out. Okay? So I'm hung up, protect myself, elbow back, and then get out of there. Okay? As soon as you get your elbow to his spine, your hand will come right out of the rope. One thing to remember, never, ever try to yank away. When you're hung up to a bull, sometimes it'll feel like you're coming free. And then all of a sudden your rope will get real tight on your fingers. Like real tight. Like they just swell. You know, them bulls blow and swell. Well, it'll happen too. It happens all the time. It happened to me several times. And if it hadn't happened to you, you'll know when it does happen. You'll be like, ah, that's what he was talking about. Well, it feels like you can just pull your hand out of there because he just barely got your fingertips. Right? Well, if I pull away and it don't come, he's pulling me right back to him. And he's going to hurt me real bad. Okay? Never yank. Never yank. Elbow to his back every time. And if you're hung and it barely feels like your hand's in there and you think you can pull it out, don't. Elbow to his spine. Don't take a chance. That rope feels like you can pull it out, and all of a sudden that sucker sucks down on your fingers tight. And hell, I've hung feeling like a couple fingers was all that was in the rope for a whole minute. You know, if I yank and it don't come out and he's moving away from me, or if he's moving back to me, I just set myself up. Because I went like this, and here his head comes. Pow! You know what I mean? Or I yank this way and he going that way, he's going to yank me off my feet, possibly dislocate your elbow, your shoulder. You know, never yank away from this bull rope. Come undone first. Elbow back and get out of there, okay? If I'm standing right here next to a bull and he don't stand on my feet, he can't hurt me. He can't kick me with his front feet. He might reach up and cow kick it and kick at you, take your leg out. That ain't nothing. If I stand right here in front, like right here by his shoulder, he can't hit me with nothing. Not instantly. You know, he can turn back to the right, and if I don't grab his neck, he might catch me on the next one. But standing right here, he can't do nothing to me. Okay? So you're gonna get hung up and protect yourself at his front shoulder. And watch him. Like, watch him. If he comes into me, you grab a neck. If not, you protect yourself. You don't want back here, but you don't want up here either. You want just a little slack. Give yourself, you know, comfortable space, and get on your feet and give you a chance to get your bearings. You can hang up to a bull and it kind of be fun. You know, you don't enjoy it. You want out of there. You want your hand to come loose.
Yeah.
But after it's done, it's like, wow, that wasn't bad, because you stayed on your feet. He hopped around. You hopped around beside him. Come undone. Nobody got hooked. Yeah. And that's the best case scenario. But man, if you stay on your feet, it's 100 times better.